the it might be that the question itself is kind of reductionistic in the sense that it's like an either or, right? So like the question asks like, is learning ecology beneficial to the environment? Does it actually help the environment? Or is it just another reductionistic thing? Well, like, I would say both, right? So that like, it is reductionistic in the sense that it's flowing out of a view of science that is like, you know, mechanistic and reductionistic. It's like Western. It's not indigenous science. It's not, you know, Chinese science or Indian science. It's very Western. But at the same time, like to me, the coolest part about ecology is that it's about relationship. So you can't. I don't know what a reductionistic idea of relationship would be. I guess it would maybe be like input-output kind of thing. But I think that, at least the way that I understand ecology now, it's gone beyond that. So it's like, it genuinely is looking at like the relationship between organisms amongst each other, and then amongst the constituents of the environment, and then this like larger whole. And so, yeah, I think that the study of ecology has benefited the environment. The human study of ecology has benefited the environment, but I think because of where it comes from, it's still limited. So it's both.
Well, I don't think we should be destroying any ecosystems, so I don't think we should control them by destroying them, definitely. As far as restoration goes, I think it depends what our goals are for the restoration. If we want to restore it to some sort of natural state, then we can try to control what that natural state is, but we have to realize that if we're controlling it, we're going to be putting in energy, so we have to consider how sustainable it is and whether we really want to do that or not. Again, it depends on what our goals are. If we want to have some sort of a reference system of something of how it used to be, like if we want to restore the prairie how it used to be, and try to maintain it like that, and if that's our goal, then maybe it's fine to try to keep it that way. But to realize that we're going to have to put energy into doing that, into keeping it at that point. And it can never be exactly how it was, because it probably doesn't have all the components it once had. So we have to recognize that too. And I think it's also good probably to have some parts of the natural world that we don't control. So if you're going to do a restoration, maybe you would just leave a part that's just goes the direction that nature takes it, and just to see what happens. It could be very interesting. It could be a very good learning experience for
us. As I understand it, ecology is the interactions of organisms between themselves and their non-living environment. And I include in that humans and human culture and human interactions in our society. And I really like a field of sustainable studies known as human ecology that looks at the role of the environment and the ecosystem, including other organisms and the climate, and how that shapes human culture, and conversely, how human culture shapes the environment and other organisms living in the area. And it's a cyclical chain of cause where the environment shapes the culture, which shapes the environment, which shapes the culture. And that has a lot of implications for sustainability, because we're concerned that our impacts are changing the ecology in such a way that we can't be sustained on the planet. And what's really interesting about ecology, though, is the framework for viewing interactions in complex causality. Maybe you could call it systemic causality. Where the term ecological has kind of been substituted in many forms of philosophy and system science for the term systemic thinking. Now they call it ecological thinking, which is actually thought to be even more whole and systemic than holistic thinking. So in the broadest sense, ecological thinking is an understanding of complex interactions and just understanding all interactions happen within the environment, within the ecology, and they shape the ecology and are shaped by it.
Hi, Mum. Well, for sure, humans are a part of nature's law because we're part of the universe and we come out of the unified field of pure being just like everything else in the universe. So on that level, we're absolutely part of nature. In terms of the fact that we have the power to reason and so on, what it means is that we're not so much under the spell of nature. We don't automatically just follow instinct. We have this cognitive reasoning function, and that introduces an element of freedom. Now, depending on how much this is what Maharishi would say, depending on how much creativity and intelligence is being expressed by an individual, you know, how evolved they are, then they can have more freedom to see clearly what will be in tune with the laws of nature. So for humans, it's a matter of degree. You know, they'll vary to the extent to which that they're in tune with natural ecology. They'll vary a lot, and the degree to which they are in tune will depend to the degree with which their physiology is pure, that they're stress-free, and that they're able to have that awareness of the full range of natural law, which is what the human nervous system is designed to be able to do.
That's a really good question, and I really do. I think like this solar panel is a great example of how we can start to use energy that's already coming to our planet for our energy needs instead of the exploitive ways that we're using fossil fuels. But as people's consciousness expands and as we realize that collectively we all are part of this planet, we're not just a complete oblivious being on it, I think we'll become a lot more responsible with how we affect it, what we take from it, how we give back to the system, so that once we realize what our position is in the chain of sequences that continue life on this planet, I think we can become a lot better stewards.